Om Shanti. So welcome all of you to the Values Workshop, this time on clarity. So let's take a moment to reflect on this very deep value of clarity. Am I clear in my intellect about my goals and aims in life?
Rajbhai, can you reduce the music? We want to hear the comment.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. The next question is, am I able to be clear in my thought process apart from goals of what my future would be? And as all of us know, clarity is something closely related to the divinity within me. And to be specific, the divinity of my intellect. So from today's workshop, let's try to explore what are the various aspects which will help me in developing my clarity of my goal, vision, and my future stage. So let's begin. So I'm joining today from the East Coast of US, myself from Peace Village. And we have with us both of our sisters, Sister Anu and Sister Shruti, both joining from the West Coast of Canada and US respectively. And also a big thanks to our untiring, I must say, or tireless translators and interpreters, along with the recorders also. Sometimes I feel the recorders aren't acknowledged. So again, thanks to all of you all. So we are on this clarity, which is 64th. And today we have a very descriptive icebreaker video. So I know it's not much of images, but it is just something descriptive about clarity, because I didn't really get anything as an audio format on clarity. It was too kiddish, which I found. So let's begin. Let's see what insights you want to share on when you see this icebreaker video after the video. It's around, say, 1.5 to 2 minutes.
Importance of clarity in life. Clarity in life is essential for achieving our goals and living a fulfilling life. When we lack clarity, we often feel lost and uncertain, which can lead to anxiety, stress, and even depression. Having a clear vision of what we want in life helps us make better decisions, set achievable goals, and focus on what truly matters. Clarity also helps us communicate effectively with others. When we are clear about our intentions and goals, we can express ourselves more clearly and avoid misunderstandings. This is especially important in personal and professional relationships, where clarity can help build trust and strengthen connections. Furthermore, clarity allows us to prioritize our time and energy. When we know what we want to achieve, we can focus on activities that will help us reach our goals and avoid distractions that are not aligned with our vision. In summary, clarity is crucial for living a purposeful and fulfilling life. It helps us make better decisions, communicate effectively, and prioritize our time and energy. By cultivating clarity, we can achieve our goals with greater ease and enjoy a greater sense of satisfaction and fulfillment in life.
Stop sharing. Yes, so I'm sure you have listened to this advantages of clarity. Do you want to add on these? I'm not asking you what it was mentioned. You want to add on to that a little bit challenging question, or whatever you all feel you want to share about clarity. We have 3-4 minutes, and then we'll move on to the experiential exercises. You all can write in the chat box. I can see someone is writing something. Okay. So you're all clear about the workshop, what you are supposed to do. So I think then we will, if there are not many responses, someone wants to share orally, then otherwise we'll move on to the first activity. So you all can share it more in that, no worries. So over to Sister Anu for the first one. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Brother Manoj. If anybody wants to share, they can. Okay, so they were not allowed to unmute, but well, we don't see anything in the chat either.
Oh, okay. Vijaypal Bhai is saying not in, I think now. So Vijaypal Bhai, you can quickly say something and we'll move on. And Sangeeta.
Om Shanti. Dear brothers and sisters, please accept my greetings of love, peace, and happiness with clarity. How can I convey my love, peace, and happiness to you? For clarity, two things are required. One, divine intellect. Second, divine eye. Now, with divine intellect, I can become angel and fly high. And with divine eye, I can see telescopically, microscopically, and a TV. I can see my past, present, and future. So clarity means using divine eye and divine intellect. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Can I say something?
Yeah, please go ahead, Sangeeta. Yeah.
What I have observed personally, and the video I just saw, it has a very beautiful and very positive effect on our emotional and physical health as well. When we are clear about, we plan our day very beautifully, right from the early morning for the whole day, and that makes you calm and peace all the day, which has a good positive results on your emotional and physical health, all the parameters. I mean, I personally have experienced it. When I plan it, when I'm clear, I plan it very beautifully. So I completely can avoid anxiety. This I have experienced.
Okay, thank you. Your voice is a bit creaky. That's okay. Yeah, and I think I'll just read the last chat box sharing. Brijpal Bhai is saying, if your thoughts, words, and actions are same, it's clarity. And today we had this mention in the blessing today as well about serving through these three. So it's a syncing all these three together. What I think I should speak and I should do, that's clarity. Okay, thank you. Quite deep. Yes, thank you for sharing. So we'll move on to the first exercise. Over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a beautiful video talking about the benefits of having clarity and how easily we can plan and do things when the goals or where I'm going is clear. So let me start sharing. The first exercise, however, we will do is reflecting more closely on this value clarity by checking what are the attributes of having a clear intellect by reflecting on someone around us whom we always feel they are clear and in doing things and how they do things and what are their attributes, what is that we feel they carry that makes them do things so smoothly. So the reflection questions are, reflect on a person who has been successful because of his or her mental clarity. And we notice that we see them successful, we see them with clarity and confidence doing. So reflect on such a person around you at work or at home, in the friend circle. And let's reflect and write down what are the attributes they show, they carry in them, that they use for developing a clear intellect. So those are the attributes we can take on for developing a clear intellect. So let's take 1 minute to reflect on these 2 questions, and then we'll share. I'm sure we got some attributes or qualities for those who have clear intellects. So, anyone would like to share? Unmute and share. I know there are few chats in the chat, but yeah, let's share. It will be nice to hear your sharing by unmuting. Okay, so Sarjit says, so she missed the video. Okay, Nirmal says she's just listening. Denise says faith in self and respect for others. That are the attributes and qualities to have a clear intellect. And yeah, Dr. Manoj brother says Jagdamba Mother Saraswati. She's clear, she was clear about her goal always. So the attributes are full faith in Brahma and trust in the divine, a love for fellow beings. These are, when we have that, we flow with clear intellect. And Brother Manuel, who does the interpretation for Portuguese, he says that attributes are a studious, applied, and disciplined person. Vijay brother says clear intellect means no waste in thoughts, no waste in speech, and no waste to kalyankari action. The action should be benevolent. If we keep that in our quality or attribute, we are clear. When we are clear, we can be have benevolent attitude for all. Vidhi says not a sharing. Shruti says faster sound decision making. These are the result of having a clear intellect. So what are the attributes, or what brings, what we think that brings that clarity to those people who are successfully doing their things? So Rehana says clarity is the realization that the only role model in my life is the best version of myself. So it is always checking the self and being the best of the self. Looking at others, senior, junior, or equal is not fair to the self. Yes, maybe to learn something with that attitude, if we look at others, we may take something, but you're right, it is always the self. What is my best self? What is that I want to be? Attributes for clarity will be love, patience, and tolerance. Yeah, beautiful. Love, patience, and tolerance. That's what I see my fellow colleague around me, that he gives so much time to think, to bring that clarity. Always his decisions are the right decisions. It may take some time, but we need the patience, tolerance, and love for the work. Maria says in Portuguese, Joan says Bab Dada, that is God, divine, is the clearest of all, consistently and daily. Right, in the daily Murli, our study, very clear instructions we get. So thank you, Joan, for bringing that. Other one is conviction, the attribute. Someone who has the clarity has conviction. Marilza says in Portuguese, again, I don't know, is it not working? But anyway, responsible, using power of silence. These are the attributes of someone who has clear intellect. At peace. How clarity is positive and not negative. I think that we'll explore throughout the workshop. I can read on, there are few more, but anybody would like to mute and share?
Om Shanti, sister. Everybody kind of shared everything, but I think acceptance is also, to be clear, you need to be acceptance.
Acceptance as the attribute, quality for clarity. Thank you, sister. I think Lata raised hand. You would like to share?
Yes, sister. Om Shanti. Actually, all my brothers and sisters have already explained it, shared everything. So, but I could just remember one point from our last class when the Usha Didi was explaining about the clarity. I really liked her point when Dadi Prakash Mani ji were doing the seva. Or with law and love, there were two options given. Then Dadi would say only love. When we serve only with the benevolent and loveful feelings, so that is the clarity, and holding no prejudices, no judgment against anyone, just love, love, love. So I think when we have a lot of love, we automatically get the clarity. That's it I want to share. Thank you.
Beautiful, yeah. Love, and no judgment, and benevolent, being benevolent to all, being there for all. Thank you. Anybody else who'd like to share? Somebody shares that able to see things the way they are. Clarity. Yes. No? Not sure. It has to be in English. Okay, maybe she will not share, so somebody can mute her. Anyways, until she's not speaking, we are fine. Anybody else would like to share? Maybe we can take another sharing, one or two.
Yes, it is Echu Tunde Dora. Yeah, she's raising her hand.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, it is done now, as I see.
Yes.
I think that to be able to clear or to have the clarity, we really should remain. Oh, sorry about that. I just was very busy when I was able to connect to you. And picture is not very great at this moment, so sorry about that.
Doesn't matter.
If we are not stable in our awareness, or we cannot keep in our awareness that I am an immortal soul, and I belong to God, who is also immortal, and until I cannot see myself in this way, and the mind has lots of vague thoughts or whatever it is, we cannot see clearly what is happening around us. Or
Beautiful. That's the essence. Who am I? That decides everything. So otherwise, my clarity can be negative clarity, overconfidence, and other things that and maybe no success at the end. So immortal soul. Thank you for sharing that beautiful point. Anyone else would like to share? Okay, so I'll just read one or two things. Clarity is a clean heart, right? So the love, pure love, selfless love. Yes, and okay, Amal sister shared. Clarity to me, Geeta sister says that clarity to me is seeing things without and being judgment, first to myself with care and then with self-esteem for the self. Beautiful. I think we have a lot of good ideas, and we remember the last week's session, and let's explore further. We'll experience through clarity as well as we'll do our action planning at the end. Maybe Brother Deepak, if you are writing, if you can share, we'll just look. Right, so faith in self and self-respect. That is faith in the self and respect for others, clear about your goals. For that, have full faith in the drama or unfolding of life's story, and trust in the divine and love for all. Studious, applied, disciplined person, then at work or for skills, we need that. We have to have clear goal, what I'm doing, what I want to do, and how I can prepare myself for that. No waste in speech, thoughts, or actions. Actions should be always benevolent, beneficial for others. The results are faster and sound decision making, means you have the clarity. And become the best version of yourself. That should be always in my mind, that how am I being myself as a person and doing things. Also looking at others, seniors, juniors, or equal is not fair to the self. So don't lose yourself in comparison, but maybe take inspiration or to make the self the better self. Love, patience, and tolerance, a conviction, being responsible, using power of silence. These are beautiful qualities for having clarity. Empty your mind and connect with Supreme. You'll get clear awareness and the answers. Being assertive, respond and not react. Active listening. To be motivated, be self-aware, and be approachable. Beautiful. I think I missed that in the chat. Acceptance and able to see things the way they are, and get rid of waste. And a few others. I'm very clear, I'm right, I brought one home. Yeah, so we're reflecting on our own life story and checking what is that helped me to keep that clear clarity or clear awareness. And seeing things without being judgmental will keep our clarity intact. Thank you so much. Now let's move on to our next exercise that Manoj brother will take us. to experience clarity.
So thank you so much, all of you, for your sharings. So we just have a few minutes left for meditation. We'll do that. And because I don't want to pinch on the next exercise time, I want you all to share about what action planning you all want to do. So let's, as always, we'll spend a moment, few moments in silence. As you can see the lake in front of you, the physical lake, there's so much of clear water in it. But you can see the entire reflection of the sky blue. Imagine that. So similarly, as we started the workshop with this question about having clarity about my goal in life and about the ability to use these two powers, which are very closely linked with the intellect. The power to discern and discriminate, and the power to decide, make appropriate decisions in life. So how do I develop these? Let's look at ourselves as this tiny, conscient energies that we are. And when I start looking at myself as this beautiful energy that is so pure and divine,
Maybe can we stop the music? So
the first clarity which we get is about the inner being, the soul conscious state I am in. And once I get this pure clarity about my existence, who am I start accepting people as they are. I start tolerating their different ways and sanskars of dealing with me. And I know that everyone's part in the drama is fixed. So with these thoughts, then my intellect comes into play, where if my mind is stable, not thinking about others' behaviors and actions, then my balance inside the intellect is considered to be as a balance. It can then weigh the benefits and pros and cons of many different situations which I have to face in life, and can then take accurate decisions, come what challenges may be. I remain stable and clear about what I want in life for myself. So with this, apologies, I think the traffic control sound, if you can hear in the background, it's 10:30 here East Coast time, but it's fine. It's too low volume, so I don't think it's disturbing. So with this, I would now stop sharing and we'll move on to the next activity of action planning. So over to Sister Shruti. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj Bhai. So after this wonderful meditation and after so many wonderful sharings, let's move to the next portion of this exercise. And what we will do, like we, true to this workshop style, now let's start focusing on what can we do at an individual level to enhance the clarity in myself. We've heard such wonderful ideas. We've been discussing clarity for over half an hour. And for those who did listen to the speakers last week, there are places that we feel we could possibly do, or things that we could do to enhance this clarity. So we'll spend a few minutes thinking about and make it very tangible just for the next week, just 1 week. What is it that I can do, ways and means that I can adopt to enhance my clarity? So I'll put on music for about a minute for you to reflect, and then we'll come back to share. Again, it's a personal experience. It's a personal reflection, things that are true to you in your situation, in your life situation as of today. Okay, so if anybody would like to unmute and get us going, so again, things that we could do to make sure that the depths of our mind are as clear as that beautiful lake that we saw in Ladakh. How can we keep ourselves and our minds as clean? So Brijpal Bhai has gotten us started with the chat message. He says, consider yourself as a soul, empty your mind, sit in silence, connect to the Supreme. You will get clear answers. That's wonderful. And yes, Sabrajit, you can speak in Hindi. We'll be happy to translate. And Manuel says, to be more aware that I am self-sovereign. Beautiful, beautiful start. Brijpal Bhai and Manuel. Sabrajit, would you like to unmute and start? Yes, we'll just come to you in a second, or I think Sabrajit is wanting to unmute.
Yes, I am unmuted.
Okay, go ahead, Dora. We'll come back to Sabrajit.
Very shortly, I would just say that the first step to get rid of the waste and to find a way, how can I get rid of that? Because what we see from the world, more and more dust or waste is coming towards us. And if we don't clean this very, very deeply, later we cannot be able to do that. So, and how can we do that? as I found in myself, especially in a certain occasion, what was happening in my life, I noticed that the more effective method is to think about entirely only just Baba and what Baba says, and about my health. If I am not healthy, I just imagine that Baba's light, white energy is going through on me, and nothing else really. This is the only one I found in the last few days, that this is the only way. If I make my mind busy, only Baba and me, nothing else is not working. That was my experience. And okay, I am still not perfect in that, I know, but I feel much, much more easy and light, and I can, even physically, I can do much more. So that was what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Very nice. I think
Because I'm busy, and this is why I cover my my picture. Sorry about that, but
no,
I
you're
can hear all of you. So
no,
thank
that's wonderful. No, that's wonderful. I think the first thing is just the recognition that there is so much dust, as Dora called it, and the waste that's coming our way, and the need for cleanliness. And of course, the second point about keeping yourself busy with thoughts of the divine, and the visualization that she's been using about the bright white light. That's wonderful. Would anybody else like to unmute and speak? I do see chat messages come in. Okay. If not, Sangeeta's, yeah. Yes, go ahead.
What I have experienced when we see the things with clarity, when we experience it, that that takes us to a higher level of clarity itself. And the next time we become more able to explore it easily. The next time we see the things, we see our life, everyone in our life. So when we experience it, we go to a higher level. This is, I have experienced it.
Very nice. So it's not just about.
I'm one perception enables me to clear the coming situation more. I'm able to see it more and more clearly the next moment or the next situation I come in front of it.
Very nice. So it's not just about the effect or the effort that it takes, when you make towards, it's not for just one event, but it's a continuum. It works even for the next time and the next time and so on. So that's beautiful.
Yes.
Very nice. Would
Om
anybody else?
Shanti.
Yes, go ahead, Vijay bhai.
Om Shanti. Clarity means full stop to past. Clarity means taking on face value as it is, without any prejudice, without any biases, without any pre-notions. Clarity means honesty. Clarity means transparency. Clarity means straightforwardness. Clarity means clean mind. Clarity means pure heart. Om Shanti.
Very nice, Vijay bhai. You always have deep comments. Very, very nice. So much in there. Anybody else? Pure heart. Beautiful. Anybody else? If not, let me go through some of our readings. There's some beautiful sharings. Devin says, I shall adopt the phrase, this too shall pass. I Anu says, I will be loving and more kind to myself, focused on what I aspire to do in my life and keep myself free from seeing or taking any hurt from others' ways and behaviors. And again, kind heart for all and all. Marliza, thank you for translating, Manuel. Says, meditate following, Marliza says, meditate following traffic control and reading a book that helps to understand God, like Dadi Janki, I think, and enter into silence. I know you've used Sister Jayanti's name over there, but so either ways, the seniors at Brahma Kumari Sahib, but I think you're talking about Dadi Janki here. Laura says, don't waste time looking at others and make an effort to go back inside and always be in the company of the Father or the Divine, much like what Dora was also saying. Very nice. Thank you, Manuel. Sangeeta just shared. Geeta says, understanding cause and effect, understanding thoughts and feelings, understand what I conceive and perceive, I receive. That's beautiful. What I conceive, perceive, I receive. Understanding that my wisdom speaks the truth and I trust in gratitude. Wonderful. And the last sharing, Balwinder says, I have a health condition that gets triggered frequently, and then I heal it with medical intervention. However, this time I'm watching very carefully my food intake and taking control of taking into my hand my medical condition, gradually moving it from doctor's hands to my hand, with mental clarity and understanding of the input material, I'm assuming, whatever you're inputting into your mind. That's wonderful. So I think with that, I think Deepak Bhai, if you can share just the summary, if you're ready with that. Thank you, Deepak Bhai. It's a lot of typing. So as we heard, just lots of sharing, connecting yourself, or considering yourself as a soul, emptying your mind, sitting in silence and connecting to the Supreme, the awareness that I'm self-sovereign, just only busying yourself with God and me, adopting the phrase, this too shall pass, I shall be loving and more kind to myself and have a kind heart, live life filled with peace, calm, and love, don't waste time looking at others, understanding cause and effect, what I conceive, perceive, I receive, full stop to waste, pure heart and honesty, transparency, and seeing things, making the effort for clarity one time helps you to get higher clarity even the next time, recognizing the health condition and trying to change that with, again, focusing on what you're inputting into your mind. And again, meditating through traffic control and reading books and entering into silence. So with those lovely sharings, I will hand it back to Manoj Bhai for the next portion.
Okay, wonderful. So a lot of sharings, and Deepak Bhai copies and pastes everything, which is good. So thank you. So let's move on. We have already Sister Olga with us. So she's been actively seeing what we have been doing over the last 45 minutes. So the next 15 minutes, I will be now giving you a summary of what our very dear seniors, Asha Didi and Charlie brother had to say. Again, there's always this problem with the Zoom. I have to, else I'm sure the screen will come up. Okay, so in the meantime, if there are people who have joined you, a few numbers came to us in the chat box. If you all can just share your email addresses and WhatsApp if you all are new to the episodes and workshops. And a few people, I think Sister Sarabjit missed that video in the start. Don't worry, we will always send you the link as well of the video. So you don't have to worry about that. So let me now start sharing the screen. And if you have to send your details of emails and WhatsApp for sending you all the review material, please do it to Sister Vidhi or Sister Anu. So I think Anu sister, you only or one of you has to share. I don't know why it always happens with me, this thing. I have to just reload the PPT and still not coming up. Yeah, just and I'll see if mine is coming up in a minute. I'll try to see mine. Yeah, it's come now. It gets hanged up or froze. I don't know, for some reason. Yeah, so let's begin. As you all know that we have celebrated the Buddha Purnima a few days ago. I think it was 6th. No, today is 6th. It was 5th yesterday. So Sister Pooja has all over the place and all over the slides shown this portrait of Buddha, which is actually, I must say, an epitome of clarity. A person who really meditates and is connected with the divine will always be very clear. So it was more of a Q&A format. Brother Charlie was interviewing Asha Didi. So the first question was, what does clarity mean for her? So Didi said, knowing and understanding the things as they are in their purest form. So here you go, it's purity again coming up without adding our own perspective in it. Accepting things as they are, knowing them and understanding in their purest form. Next was what underpins our ability to have such clarity. So again, it is like, as we did in the meditation as well, if it's a stable and clean mind, which is free of biases or prejudices or any influences from other people, because sometimes that commonly happens. We are so influenced by someone else's personality that I tend to all the time compare myself with theirs, which is really a very dangerous thing to do. So I need to be free of influence as well. And having a pure mind, which means my thoughts need to be pure, and which we hear constantly at BK classes here in the spiritual teachings, that having waste thoughts about everything in life, which I'm not related to, which is not none of my business, is waste. And that is also a very deep level of impurity. Then Didi mentioned detachment. So if I'm able to detach and be neutral, it can help me see both sides, the pros and cons of anything. And our vision gets blurred very often due to our own weaknesses, which we always at Brahma Kumaris call Maya. But let's not go there. It's nothing, it's not a physical entity, or it's not a being. It is basically my own weakness. The next question was, what is the practice to keep yourself detached and uninfluenced? So Didi said that she herself is not totally detached. And I really quite like that, because she's a very senior sister of our institute, and she has admitted that she's still not totally detached. But it is good to remember that we still don't know the entire picture. And here again, it comes that what we see at any moment of life, something happening to us, any situation, we are just looking at it from one perspective. We don't know why it is happening to us. So we need to develop that attitude of detachment. We have covered a lot on this value with our seniors in the past. So Didi said that because I'm not able to do that, so I would rather speak to the person directly and understand what he or she is having in her mind. And the second thing is instrument of God. I am on service 24/7, on godly service. That's what we call here at Brahma Kumaris. And each one of us is his child. So no one must get hurt, as this is one family. And we should make sure that along with not only protecting our self-respect, I must make sure I'm protecting theirs as well. And I think it's very beautiful here that at Brahma Kumaris, we have something called affirmations of self-respect, which we call slogans of Swaman. In Hindi, we call Swaman. If I'm able to situate myself in that seat of self-respect, all these seats of affirmations, all affirmative sentences, highly positive ones, then I'm able to protect others. I remember one of the participants was asking about, I think it was Sangeeta Koliben, asking about clarity about positive or negative things. I think we should always be clear about positive things, and it's a highly positive value. So let's not go towards the negative side. Then the next question Brother Charlie asked was, what do you keep in mind when you're constantly connecting with so many people, because she's the director and meeting people very often? And what can you say to them so that they understand what they want to say to you? So sort of what should we do? So Didi, again, as what all of you all beautifully pointed out, Didi also said that you can see later down, it's about Dadi Prakash Mani. Didi used to ask her that as an administrator, what would you do? It should be a balance of love and law or anything else. So Dadi Prakash Mani used to say, no, it's only love, and this feeling of benevolence for everyone. Because strictness goes no way. It takes the soul far away from you. So Didi said that I've learned my lesson from this. I should obviously tell clear to them that what is right or wrong in their life if I'm feeling something for them and need to tell them, need to convey them. But finally, it's their decision. Further, Brother Charlie asked, do the vibrations go with the intent? And in what way can you change those? So here again, it's not love law. As I said, it's only love. And one thing which he said that Didi said actually in response to this question, that we are all spiritual beings now and trying to lead a very highly spiritual life. So we should say the right thing, obviously, but in a very gentle, softer manner that is spiritual. Because sometimes people go overboard and say, oh yes, I'm speaking the truth. So that's the reason in English it is said that truth is usually harsh, but no, here we are taught by the Supreme Being that satyata and sabhyata. So even if you want to say something clearly, honestly to someone, it should be in a very decent, spiritual, gentle fashion. And therefore we have the slogan of speaking to each other, not only in less words, but clearly as well, sweet as well, if it's possible, but at least in a very gentle way. Then Didi asked Dadi Janki that I will do what she has asked me to do, but it will not be, sorry, just a minute, it's coming in between. It will not be from my heart. Because if someone is, I'm not respecting genuinely from inside, and they do ask me to do something which I'm not really wanting to do from my heart, so it will be like something very artificial. So Dadi Janki said that, Asha, if you do like that, something which is not coming from your heart, please never do that, because it will not reach that person. So I think, again, we all need to clear our inner stuff first. We have to clear the clutter which is there. I think we need to hit clarity for that as well, because if I'm carrying a lot of bag and baggage of other people's past doings and other people's whatever I am dealing with, I won't be able to clear the clutter inside me. And then I'll always keep going to that instance when I look at that person. So we need to clear our vibrations. So for that, we need to really work on ourselves and have a clear mind. Next question was very good. What makes people feel safe with us to be genuinely open when we communicate with them? And Didi mentioned a big flurry of many values. So it's transparency, honesty, benevolence, love we already covered, and straightforward. I think it's important to be straightforward with people, and also acceptance. Then another very tricky question which he asked, that people are not sometimes clear what they want, and they may take your time, they may waste your time. This came in the question and answers also later when I asked both of them. So how do you try to get the clarity out from people who are not really very clear in what they want to speak? So Didi said that I'm very direct and straightforward here. I ask them what the truth is. And if they do not tell me the truth, I tell them what I know, but gently, so as not to hurt their self-respect. So I think a non-threatening communication will help here a lot. And again, just not on the word value, but also my inner vibrations have to be clean with that person. And second thing, she said, it's better to ask people to repeat what they wish to say if I am unable to understand. But again, respecting my time, because they should not be just going on and on, taking my personal time. Didi's personal practice of developing clarity is the feeling of having a trusteeship. That's what she said. And how do I find time for silence in busy life? She said she really diligently follows the traffic control of thoughts. We have it, Brahma Kumaris, this beautiful practice where every 1 minute, every 1 hour, we have this 1 minute, we pause for silence for the next few minutes. And developing this habit really helps calming down, stabilizing your mind. And it's only a mind which is so stable that you can see clear inside what you have, your thoughts. Because if you're always in a fast mode, it's difficult to develop clarity. I think I'm exceeding my time, but I have 3 more minutes. Let me just cover this. Yeah, it was about famous doctor who was ill-tempered in the operation theater, but he was very well in his surgeries. He was one of the fantastic surgeons. He was able to take proper decisions at right time. So how do we explain this? That on one hand, there is anger as a negative emotion, but he's still able to take proper decisions. So Brother Charlie said, yeah, why not? He can perform well at the time when he's doing a surgery, but a big but here, that he's losing the love of those whom he's working with, because never will the colleagues or the nurses around have that love for him, have the natural respect coming from him, because he's all the time angry and losing respect. I mean, he's not respecting them. When I'm angry with someone and I'm blasting at that person, I'm disregarding that person. Next was, can I be strict, clear, and gentle at the same time? So Brother Charlie said, yes, it's possible. Because 80 to 90% is non-verbal communication. All of us should know that when we are heading towards the spiritual journey, everything starts becoming more and more subtle. It's your feelings, your vibrations which speak for you rather than your words. And last question I'll take. Asha Didi answered that, like if someone is beating around the bush, can we say that he's also playing his role as per drama? So Didi again said very point blank that I'm straightforward. I ask the person to come to the point. But if it doesn't happen and he's still not able to come to the point, then she said, I just leave that at the point to drama, because some realization will still come up for that person, but I don't need to disturb my energy towards that person. I still can have regard and respect for him in my mind inside. And that probably that beautiful vibration which I'm giving him will help that person to get some self-realization. And then he may be able to come up with something more clear in his dialogue. I'll just stop sharing here because we have with us Sister Olga very patiently waiting. And I hope, yeah, thank you so much for joining. And before I give it to you, I'll just introduce you to because you're a newbie for us. You're joining us for the first time. And let me tell you one thing very honestly. We chose Sister Olga for this because we felt that Sister Olga belongs to a region which is really going through a lot of tough times. All of you know very well, I don't need to go there. And it really needs a lot of clarity in action or clarity in thoughts, whatever. I mean, it's like clarity personified. She's a practical example of at the center, she's there, and outside there's a bomb going on suddenly, what to do next. So it's something very practical which she is facing. So she'll give us a lot of tips. So let me take a few more minutes more and speak about her. That she is basically born to parents from Siberia and Ukraine and grown up in Belarus. All of us know these countries now very well. And she has been living in Ukraine for the past 27 years. So she's got a mix of all these three cultures. And she's a graduate from the Moscow Textile Academy, where she has studied fine arts, graphic design, and fashion design. And she has become a part of Brahma Kumaris since 1990, more than 30 years now, I must say. And since 1992, she has been fully committed to this spiritual life. And she was the national coordinator of Brahma Kumaris in the country of Latvia, and now is currently also acting as an NC of Brahma Kumaris in Ukraine, coordinating the various centers around in that part of the country. And she's also a member of the regional Brahma Kumaris core group, as well as a member of the council under the board of Women's Association of the Odessa region. I'm sure all of us are now very well aware of different cities of Ukraine, with all the news going around what happens in each and every city there. So lastly, a few lines about her in the form of a poem. So today we have with us Sister Olga, who's joining us from Ukraine. She's from the area which is indeed undergoing the war pain, but she as an angel showers the coolness of the rain, taking people away from the grief into the happy terrain. through her sweet gesture, reminding them again and again that this all shall pass away and roll away into the drain, and that this shall give us a chance to heal for the brain, because no one ever has in the past from the war anything to gain. And that clarity, how to achieve, she shall clearly explain. Spirituality and divine grace is the only thing which is main. Finally, we need to understand that and for future try to maintain, which will in turn take us away from this feeling of disdain. So with this, I would welcome Sister Olga again, and thanks a million for joining right at the onset of the workshop. I'm sure you have seen what we have been sharing. So the stage is all yours. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Manoj Pai, for introduction and the poem. It was a surprise. It's an honor to be with you today and share my thoughts and experiences on the quality of clarity. And I really feel that you've already studied it so thoroughly that well, what remains only to repeat and to share some experiences. So, as I understand, it's the second meeting on clarity, and we've already heard a lot. And clarity actually is a value, a quality which is especially necessary for all of us now in this time of uncertainty and chaos. And the absence of this quality can literally turn a person's life into a nightmare. I remember the first days of the war in Ukraine, the war which has been going for a year and 3 months now. Well, no one thought it would be so long, and no one knows when it will end. Now people around us are kind of used to living in a state of uncertainty, which war brings. When there is no clarity about your future, and when I'm asked if I can do something, I mean, for a service online, for example, for region or internationally, and they ask me, can I do something? Will I be able to do something, say, in 3 months? To participate somewhere or to go somewhere, I always tell them that we say here that during the war, you can plan your life only for a maximum of 2 weeks in advance. So uncertain is our life now. And well, more than a year ago, one morning, we woke up and found that our life had completely changed, as a war usually changes the life of a person or a country. And we didn't know exactly how, but we knew for sure that our world would no longer be the same as before. I think you understand that we just survived the pandemic, and all these 2 years, we thought that it would end at some point, and we thought that then we would return to our former normal life. Some did, of course, but not in this country. And Now, here, we understand. I think many people, not only those who dedicated their life to spiritual study, many understand that everything has changed so much here that it'll never be the same as before, even if the war ends, and which we cannot say with certainty as well. Well, and on that day, actually the day before the war started, many people more or less knew where they were going. They planned and assumed that their tomorrow, near future would be. But the next second after they learned the news about the war, their future changed. We all understood it. Also, we didn't yet understand how. And then this uncertainty, the lack of clarity, I think there is no person in this country who hasn't been affected by this war. And you can imagine what kind of atmosphere is immediately, just immediately created on this 6,000 kilometers of area. I mean, in whole country, when this question, what's going to happen to us now, arise at the same time in the mind of all, I don't know, at least 20 million people. And you can imagine how intense the atmosphere, how strong a feeling of uncertainty, anxiety, and fear was. And some rushed to find out what political observers were speaking about this. Some went to fortune tellers. Some acted impulsively and without thinking twice, packed up their luggage and left the country. And I remember there was a rush at the train stations. People travel 10, 12 hours to the border standing on their feet because there was no place to sit on the train. Just to leave the country. Many of them are leaving their things, their luggage on the platform because there was simply no place for suitcases for their luggage on the train. And it was like mass psychosis. You see, like the tsunami, one wave after another. But I can't speak for everyone, of course, but I know that basically all our students, I mean members of the Brahma Kumaris community in Ukraine, weren't subject to that panic. And it was thanks to this state of inner peace and stability that we'd accumulated during our spiritual life through meditation practice. We were even attacked by our people from our BK community from other countries. They called, they wrote us letters, they texted saying, you should leave the country when you're going we're going to leave it. And it felt like they were more worried than us. And our people, I mean from BK centers, spoke to their relatives, both here and abroad, and they insisted on them leave as soon as possible And yeah, the panic was that those territories was going to be occupied by foreign troops. And see, you should know that that nation has the historical memory of the last war, and we all heard from our elders what it was like to live in occupation, and so it was, yeah, this time there was fear, rumors, and a lot of panic. And you can understand that it's quite difficult to maintain clarity at such a time. And without clarity, it's almost impossible to take the right decision, what to do, to go or to stay, and you see how to calm your emotions and feelings, and so on. And if we hadn't made certain spiritual efforts before all this came, I don't know how would we survive. I mean, our mental stage and our, I know, our feelings, our everything, our inner world. So, clarity in this situation, I think that we could see it clear enough because we practiced. And what I personally think about clarity, how to gain clarity, how to maintain clarity. And so I'd like to just speak about it. What types of clarity do I have? Do I practice? And we already heard the definition of what clarity is. I think Asha Didi made it very nice. And for me, first of all, clarity means to see the true state of things, yes, but also clearly understand where to go next. If you need to take this decision. And I think that it'd be useful to look at different aspects of clarity, maybe not all of them, but what I think would be important to me. And first, and we've spoken about it, clarity of vision and perception. A clear picture of what's happening, that you look at what is happening, you hear something, and suddenly a clear picture of it appears in your mind. So, clarity of vision. This is like a light of sun on a clear day that illuminates the landscape in front of you, and you can see everything clearly and every detail, and no clouds hide the picture. Oh, it's like looking through crystal clear water. Nothing obscures it, and you see everything as it is. And for me, it's a little different from what we call the ability to see the essence of things. Since this ability to see the essence of things, I'd call our perspicacity, the ability to penetrate through ambiguity, or which surrounds a problem or situation, like clouds. And I would attribute perspicacity more to intellect, and clarity yet more to the mind. Since there perspicacity is the ability to instantly catch the essence of what is happening, of actually exist. But clarity is the ability to instantly understand the whole picture of what's happening or existing. And it's more like a revelation, your personal revelation. It's like a clarification. So I understand what's happening, and I understand it as it is. And this makes the mind strong and leaves no confusion or doubt. Take, for example, a situation where you have a person in front of you who tells you their story or problem, and they're talking and talking and talking, but you got the point a long time ago from the beginning, from the and you understood the cause of their problem because your perspicacity worked here. But at the same time, you saw the full picture as it is, and you understand the way out of it. And you could give them a correct and clear advice because of this. So this is clarity for me. And clarity is, as I understand it, is more about the present and the future. And with it, you can see the big picture, maybe with a lot of details. And perspicacity is about understanding the causes. So it's more about the past. And clarity is about the way out and solutions. And I think that when you want to have clarity, you should prepare yourself to see things as they are, so that later you won't be disappointed. Because you may discover the picture of the world that you've built in your mind doesn't correspond to reality you finally see. It's a hard time when you go through moments when it seems your world has collapsed and you're standing on the ruins of that wonderful picture that you've been painted in your mind and cherished for so many years. And all this turned out to have nothing to do with reality. And here, of course, I think we're faced with another dilemma, since seeing the world as it is, which we actually call clarity, may contradict our course towards a positive attitude, positive thinking, and a positive everything. I know, for example, a person, a BK, Brahma Kumaris, who is convinced that everyone around her loves her dearly. And she's really convinced, since in her presence, they behave nicely, respectfully, expressing their love, while hiding what they really think about this person. I think this perception of the reality, and this is actually a desire to be loved, not reality. It's kind of rose-colored glasses, and these don't give you the opportunity to feel real vibrations, attitude, and this prevents you from understanding that people may have completely different feelings for you. And as a result, I see it's poor management, as this person manages their organization and personnel, and poor delegation, which often turns out to be wrong and doesn't work. Therefore, clarity of perception is for me a very important aspect of this review. And then, of course, comes the clarity of decisions. And who among us wouldn't like to make precise, clear decisions, not to waste time on doubts and later on correcting the consequences or repenting when it's not possible to correct them. And clarity of decision is preceded by clarity of purpose and clarity of direction. Make decision based on a clear understanding of where to go and what to do. So to say, goals, path, and steps. First, there is clarity of vision. Then it becomes clear where to go and how to do it. If we have clarity of purpose, direction, and decision, and of course the desire to move in that direction, we have the willpower to carry it out. To be honest, for me, willpower is not really something you need to care about, because some people feel that they lack of this willpower, but it's actually not a big deal. If there is a desire and clarity, the strength, the inner power will come to help us accomplish our goal. And this power will come, if not from within myself, then from God, the highest source of all powers that will support me. So the clarity of purpose, direction, and decision. And the next aspect of clarity, it was, as I understood, mostly discussed the last session with Asha Didi last Sunday. Much attention has been paid to it since this aspect of clarity is important for our life if we want to have good relationships. And this is clarity of expression and communication. To express yourself, to express your thoughts, intentions, or ideas, etc. Because we all know that uncertainty gives us hard time, and lack of transparency and clarity gives rise to speculations, and a person think out the rest what you have spoken, and the whole picture of the whole situation can be completely distorted. Then you have to deal not with how you see the situation, but mainly with how they see see it. And I think quite a lot was said about this in the previous session. And well, I really don't have much to add to it. And well, maybe that how clear and transparent we ourselves are when we express ourselves, and of course how clear our mind is, and how others see in us who we are. And if we are talking about the inculcation of clarity as a quality of virtue, often, well, as I understand and as I see it and I watch it in people, often clarity of mind, of thinking, as well as ability to see everything as it is, can be just an innate quality with which a person came into this life, so to say. It either is there or it isn't. There are people who simply have clarity of vision, mind, and decision making. And as for example, there are people who have a natural wisdom, maybe it's worldly wisdom, and this is their natural quality of their personality, and they don't study any spirituality, and this is just their innate quality. I think we all meet such people in our life, and they are usually successful in what they do, whether it's business, science, or just relationships. And on the other hand, the good news is that we have only a few qualities that we can't develop. So the quality or values that cannot be developed, cannot be inculcated. And they cannot be inculcated because we always have them inside. And they are our original and eternal qualities. And those are the original qualities of our soul. And we know that peace, love, happiness, bliss, purity, and wisdom. And if I don't experience them constantly, it means they're just sleeping and I just need to wake them up, creating favorable conditions for them to awake, to be awakened. And I need to start to refine my mind, refill my mind with them, which we do here in Brahma Kumaris with the help of Raja Yoga meditation practice. So all other qualities, values, virtues can be inculcated. And if we trace their origin, sorry, wait a minute. My battery is low. I'll be back. Sorry. Well, so our qualities and values we want to inculcate if we trace their origin, we'll always find that at the basis of any positive quality or virtue of our personality or any quality or virtue, there's one of the original and eternal qualities of the soul. Therefore, if I think that I lack clarity, then in time of need, I think I can't apply it. So then I should develop it and improve it over time. I for instance, remember when I was young and studied at the university, although I enjoyed my study, as we studied arts and fashion and everything, and I enjoyed the company of creative and free people, but at the same time, I feel a kind of uncertainty, even, I don't know, the feeling, not fear, but this uncomfortable feelings, because I didn't see my way in life, the path I need to go, and I didn't understand the world around me. Then at some point I began to visit the Brahma Kumari Center to study meditation, and since then everything somehow started to become clearer to me, and not only about my own life, but what was happening around me became also clear. And I can see how this ability increases over time. And now, every time I see in my past experience, I'm amazed at how I couldn't see those things clearly then, because it was so obvious. And I think a very important role in this is played by spiritual knowledge we receive here. And I've been receiving and studying it all these years. And of course, meditation, Raja Yoga, which connects us with the Almighty, the source of eternal light and wisdom. Therefore, despite the fact that our body is gradually aging, and the brain too, thanks to regular spiritual study, we are able to see things much more clearly than before. And in order to understand clarity as a quality and or value, to understand how to inculcate it or develop it, I think we need to look in the inner world of a person who possesses it. And what can we find there? First of all, it's a structured mind. A mind in which there is order and there is no mess. A person can clearly see their thoughts, emotions, and feelings. Again, you are aware of them and you live mindfully. What else? Calmness, the ability to cut off everything unnecessary at that moment, and concentration of thoughts. And also clarity is natural in people who've developed both logical and intuitive abilities. where there is a balance between a logical approach and feelings, or they take the middle path between those two. And what steps do we need to take to make clarity our nature, or make it a tool that helps us not only survive in this world, but live happily and move forward? Before taking any steps, it will be useful to assess the risks, because clarity requires courage. Why? Because it shows things as they are. It exposes everything, and we need to be prepared to the fact that the world may not be the way we imagined it. Clarity kind of highlights things in their true meanings. And perhaps if we come across the truth, we won't like it. This is why some of us sometimes avoid clarity, because it can be traumatic, or because we are not ready to face the true state of things. We may receive revelations that we didn't quite expect, and that doesn't match our desires. So we need courage to face the truth. Otherwise, it can hurt our old ideas and ourselves as well. Therefore, I think that first of all, courage is needed to develop clarity. Courage is needed because because clarity is associated with being honest with ourselves, because at some point we will need to check the purity of our intentions. In some cases, clarity can be, so to speak, dangerous to others. Because when you see the picture clearly and you want to translate it to others, for them, your clear understanding can be too much, and they may not digest it, and they are not able to accept it. They may resist you, as it makes them uncomfortable, and they'd prefer to be in a state of certain uncertainty, ambiguity, because that way they feel better. And often, we know that often people who clearly understand what is happening and what is going to be the next sin and in life, those people are often misunderstood. I recall a story I was told many years ago, that one of our senior teachers, the Brahma Kumari teacher, was seriously ill. And of course, they made every effort to provide him with the necessary medical care. And they were doing it with a lot of love and care. And he was in the hospital where he was treated. And one day he said to those who cared for him to bring him home from the hospital to his room. And they began to resist, to tell him that no, he should be in hospital. that he was getting better actually, and they wanted to keep him there to recover. To which he just quietly said, "You understand nothing." And in the end, they did as he said, and a few days later, he passed away. So he kind of saw the picture clearly, because he knew himself and he just wanted to leave his body, not in hospital. He clearly understood what awaited him, but others were not ready for this. So if in spite of everything, we believe that benefits of such quality as clarity are much greater than disadvantages, then we're ready and able to move forward and prepare ourselves to accept clarity and make it our own. We know everything about it, how to do it. First of all, we need to understand ourselves. We need clear communication with ourselves, and we need to see ourselves clearly, our thoughts, intentions, and all this we need to do in a state of introversion. And the first step we can take, it's nothing new, is to look at our mind, thoughts, emotions from the outside, to practice a detached observer. If we know how to do this, it's perfect, it's good. If not, we can start small, observing, for example, what doesn't cause an emotional outburst in us. Since often emotions deprive us of clarity, it's better to start the practice of detached observer, observing scenes that aren't directly related to you personally. We can do it, for example, imagine sitting on a park bench, people are calmly walking in front of you, and children are playing, and you quietly watch them, and you're in a peaceful state, and you're sitting, enjoying, and just remember the feeling. And then you can do it with your own situations and your own thoughts, to be a detached observer. So the next things we need is inner silence. If there is silence inside it, everything will be clear. And what else create noise in the mind except for emotions? And we also know this very well. And the mind creates a huge amount of clouds, fog, in the form of empty thoughts, thoughts of unhappiness, suffering, doubts, and all these thoughts make us weak. And they hide our clarity from us. So the next step is to clear up the mind. And then to create fewer thoughts and pay attention to the ability to focus. And for this, we need a separate practice. What else? Elevated thoughts, because if we have elevated thinking, they have the energy of clarity, and they have power, and which this we can achieve success. And We also need to study our thoughts, get to the source, to the point where they arise, evaluate them at that level, only then allow or not allow them into our mind. And to do this, we need to know ourselves as a spiritual energy, a soul. So in order to understand ourselves, now we need inner silence. And well, otherwise, there are many influences of our mind which make us weaker. So we need to do our mind more powerful, think less, slow down the speed of thoughts, have clear thoughts filled with meaning and based on positive motivation. Because a clear thought is like an arrow hitting the target. And so, what else? When there is a lack of clarity, it can be also because of lack of focus. We may, live such a life where we start many things and leave them unfinished. Maybe because we don't fully understand why we do something. Maybe because we are undisciplined or disorganized. So we have a lot of thoughts and distractions. Or maybe we do something, but we're not sure that that's what we want. So we don't have any success, gain any success. And we can develop the ability to focus in meditation. And meditation, as we know, is a very powerful tool for working with our inner world to achieve a state of peace, purity, light, etc. It's generally believed that in order to get such feelings in meditation, we need to relax physically and mentally, letting go of any tension, at the same time concentrate on what we want to experience, but it doesn't always work because we miss another important step. And it's useless actually to concentrate our thoughts on something if we don't know how to focus, or rather how to unfocus, or if we are unfocused. And it won't give any feelings, any experience in meditation. It even can cause a headache and tension. So if you only try to concentrate, so what I want to say, you need to be able to focus to achieve concentration, because concentration is the ability to visualize your goal and to keep your attention on it as long as you need it. And focus is the ability to cut off all unnecessary thoughts. So after that, you can concentrate your thoughts to your aim or your goal. So the focus is very, very essential ability if we want to develop our clarity. And what else? The time is I think that with all this, we prepare our mind to perceive the true state of things. That is the truth. And the truth is, as we know, God. And the greatest clarity in understanding what's happening, to understand people, ourselves, will be when we can look at it through the eyes of God. So we prepare our mind to receive the touch of God. And this is not a mystical thing. I told that at the beginning of the war, at some point, we were advised to leave the city where one of the centers of Brahma Kumaris is located, here in Odessa, to go further to the western border, away from the front line, because they were afraid of occupation. And our opinions differed. Then we decided to sit in meditation for half an hour with this question in our mind to our Supreme Father, asking him what should we do, and then we compared what we, so to speak, heard or perceive, or our thoughts, which came during meditation. And there were three of us at the center. And when we compared our thoughts and experience, it turned out that we had the same thoughts, literally, the same thoughts, word by word, all three of us. And I think that this is the highest level of clarity when the God, the Supreme, the Shivava, as we call him, make he himself can make something clear to us. And well, I think that God likes a pure heart. Therefore, if we have clarity of intentions, our intentions are pure, so we can connect ourselves to God and take from him this clarity, this truth, so we can see the whole situation and the way out of it. Well, I think that's it, because my time is over.
Thank you so much, Sister Olga. So for putting up your thoughts and also your experiences about the war. So since we are running short of time, I won't be taking any questions. I will just request Sister Claudia from Vancouver to please propose the vote of thanks. So over to you, Sister Claudia.
Om Shanti, Sister Olga, was very nice to hear you speaking and bringing another perspective to clarity. I quite like when you say to use perspicacity, which is quite about something that we have from the past, and then use the clarity of the mind in the present, and then see very clear the picture of the future. So it's quite of a very nice vision to say. And also when you said about the mind has to be no mess, nothing mixed, no negative thought, no nothing. So very, very clear. So it's almost like a film that we can see what we should do and not to do. And I'm sure that when you said that you have that point where you ask the Supreme Father what to do, three of you, that clarity came very much like that. And it was no mess mixed, nothing mixed, was just very clear because when we have a pure mind, we can see things, even if the things outside, it doesn't look, it looks a little bit, looks like good, but we can see very easily what is in our mind, what is the reality. And then like you said, also be mindful too. So remove all the things unnecessary. Otherwise, we cannot have clarity what to do. And then also, I like that one thing, that's because when we see, then we have to have courage to do it. So was very nice the way how you bring everything together. I'm very thanks to you. And then our heart is with you there with all the family. And then we always, and I think you are very courageous, and you give courage to the family. Of course, we cannot run away. Many times things happen to the family, and then to the country, to whatever. We cannot run away. We have to have that courage to go ahead and make things happen. So thank you very much for everything. It was very nice to hear from you. All the best for you and for all of them there. All our life, love for all of you.
Oh, thank you, dear Claudia.
So thank you so much, Sister Claudia. And before we go into the closing meditation and the group photo, I would just share the screen quickly and show you the announcements for the upcoming episodes. So after clarity, let's now move on to zeal and enthusiasm, which is the value for next, I must say, 2 weeks. So the next weekend, we'll have two of our eloquent senior Rajyogis from the East Coast, Dr. Kala Iyengar, who is the director of Peace Village Retreat Center, and Sister Judy Johnson, who is the coordinator at Halifax in Canada. So both of them will be having, again, a beautiful conversation, same time as always. And then we have another very senior BK, all the way from Africa. I'm sure you all know him very well, Brother Nizar Juma, a very successful businessman, I must say, and full of zeal and enthusiasm. And actually, all of us know him very well through the FOP, that is the Future of Power program, which he really had a lot of enthusiasm, through which he conducted in various cities, big cities of India, and did a lot of service of the VIPs over there. So he'll be there the week after, again during the workshop, sharing his wisdom on zeal and enthusiasm. And yes, as always, we have the silence retreat on zeal and enthusiasm. So we should be doing that this time on the third weekend, which is Sunday morning for India time and evening for the West Coast time. And this is, again, thanks to Sister Kosha. This is our calendar for the May. We'll make the other announcements later of the other episodes. And yes, we have received quite a few new email addresses and numbers. So please feel free to do so as well. We still have 5 minutes left for the meditation. So you all can still send it if you still haven't. And all the workshops and episodes of the Values for Life series, which we have covered, are all available. The links are as below, omshanti.tk /workshops. And similarly for the episodes, it's /playlist/English. So you can select whichever language you want to. These are our websites of the Vihasa and the Vancouver team. So I'll just stop sharing. And as always, there's a big request for having a photograph. So maybe Sister Anu could do that, and then we'll go in the meditation mode.
Yeah, sure. Everybody, you can open your video to take the picture, and you can also go to the gallery view to see everybody on the frame on your computer. So thank you, Sister Olga. It was very accurate, I mean, experience-based sharing. And we always take our picture so that we have this memory, like, so people are still opening their videos slowly. So this memory is stays with us forever. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, Sister Olga. I got the picture, so we can now go.
So yeah, thank you, Sister Anu. So now actually I just have to leave. I have a meeting here. It's 12 exactly. I'm slightly running late. There are many meetings here. So thank you so much, Sister Olga. And then we'll go in the meditation mood. I have to leave now. So if Anu sister, you can play the music, and yeah, it'll be great. Thanks.
Thank you, brother. Olga, would you take us through a few words, commentary, or just music?
Sure. Let's sit quietly and completely withdraw our mind from the world around us, from our rules, from the sensations. Let's slow down the speed of our thoughts and dive deeper into the very essence of our being, into the depths of the soul. I look at my heart, my spiritual heart, and see how pure it is. There are no selfish desires inside it. Only pure feelings for myself, for others. Pure, elevated love. There are peace and acceptance that wishes to all. I open my heart to God. I am ready to accept the truth as it is. The light of God enters my heart, my mind, illuminates them with its light. My mind and my heart become clear.
Thank you so much, Sister Olga. It was very clear and it stayed with us. We'll definitely taking to practice. And as Sister Claudia mentioned, we all are with all of you, the whole people and family in Ukraine, with our hearts and wishing you all.
I wish all the best to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us today. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.